uncle told him I had a gun. I do believe in my spirits, can't hop on the spirit that flight too long. YouTube niggas tryna paint a picture of me, it never lasts too long. Not too much on violence, but nigga, I'm silent, but nigga, I'm glad you gone. If you got a name and you stand on business, you can't be the first to fold. Bro got a body, but Brody got 4 bodies, he the first to told. On my back is a burden, bro in the car, and I did it on purpose. They in Suburbans, bro in the track, and he hop on the curb then. Brody moved back, cause Brody started lacking just off his girlfriend. I was stacking, had to sleep on the mattress, nigga ain't perfect. Take him out the slide, he can't even focus, thinking what his girl did. I can't even lie, and I love the guys, and we make the world spin. On the jail call, but we still risk it, cause he got a merge in. Never post the guns that's really involved, cause they lurking. Where I'm from, you don't get old. I know some killers that told. I know secrets that nobody know. Pray for me, I'm on the road. Give it all up for my bro. When you keepin' your mouth closed, ain't nobody getting exposed. They scared to come outside. I know they years, but niggas be scared to pop out for days. Back in the day when it was $7.50 minimum wage, I was bad, mama sent me to Michigan to get out the way. I ain't know what to say, I knew he was there when they put out the tape. That shit was a shame, he died right in front of me, auntie said I'm a snake. I ain't mention little bit of name, see Era said I'm strange. Auntie Googie lost her daughter, call my phone back, I ain't know what to say. Asked the kids for visits, they mamas never did it, like I'm the one who be playing. See Brody, that was my mans, but he let him get in his head what I'm saying. Like how I'ma sacrifice Vaughn, I'm the only nigga reach for his hand. Like why I lie, like I ain't give her money for the funeral, I'm like damn. I ain't see his kids yet, same time, they probably bleed with their hand. I ain't make a statement for the whole case, like how I'ma tell on my man. They ain't never have enough evidence, tell them free so out they can. I call Fat to talk to the kid, I don't think son know that he dead. Life insurance money, whole lot of end. So when I'm dead, dad never miss meal. I don't know why they hate me so much. Got it back from revenge, so what? Why they lie on my name so much? Why I be with the gang so much? Why they do it for the fame so much? Keep telling him slide, ain't on nothing. Keep telling him slide, they scared to come outside. Niggas be lying on blogs to get them some views. Fell out with A1 cause his son called, asked a nigga for shoes. I was outside moving and forgot, I ain't tryna make an excuse. Tried to tell Vernie that I forgot about him cause he's still in the zoo. Could've been came around, I was in therapy, wasn't tryna front my move. Like I don't wanna fuck cause you bro mama, I'm just thinking it through. I fuck one time, I told what could do cause I think it's cool. A lot of people in the trenches say they hate me, shit I hate you too. I send money to jail, I send money for funerals, even though they going to hell. For all them niggas they kill. You know I'm part of my brother now, forever, ever, ever, I'm going to hell. You know I'm part of my brother now, I'm never, ever, ever gonna tell. Like when I'ma have a baby on my bitch, I'm different, I'm not crazy. Me and Brody died cause he beat up a goofy, mad as shit, nothing about Asian. Why you praising niggas who told on Brody, no man, you niggas too crazy. When thing died, a nigga died, another nigga died, we thankin'. You the same nigga told me your block ain't shit, them boys fugazi. When you think about it, you the same nigga ain't shoot shit, you niggas is crazy. When I'm in the rack, if I ain't going to Tay-Town, nigga, I'ma slide on Damon. What you doing in the trenches, Brody, when they want you dead and they know that you famous? Morning time, I get on my knees, I pray to Allah. Forgive me for the shit that I did, and let me get closer to my kin. Can you protect all my friends? They scared to come outside, and we ain't, I know we ain't scared. I know what we did. Scared to come outside.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, family. Drop a 1 on the chat if you guys can hear me. Right, we're gonna go ahead and get it started in a couple of minutes. Let's get 25 plus people on this call, family. Send out this link to anybody that you guys know that really is involved with live trading. I feel like we're definitely gonna be able to catch some just entries slash re-entries after this news, right? We just had our 10 a.m. news release drop. So in terms of that, you can see that we ran straight down to start. We took the low, our current low of the day, which is to be expected, right? With just the current area that we're in. So we're definitely going to be breaking down just ideally how we even bought up the market prior to it coming back down here, and how we shorted it with the anticipation that this would kind of be our range. So overall, just kind of looking at it, I expect us to really just continue to fall over. If we fly from here, then it is what it is. We've kind of like done enough in order to be able to do that. It just would be a little bit ugly, in my opinion, on the 4 hour. Or that's what the 4 hour looks like, regular 4 hour. Yeah, it would just be a little bit ugly on the 4 hour, but you know, it really could happen. So, you know, we'll definitely have to see what takes place. But we're gonna go ahead and start it here, family, in about 5 minutes. So make sure you guys send out this link to everybody. Let's see 20 plus on here, fam.
It's lit. He got hit by the whip back, flipped and dick like chips. And he breath the beef like burger. Bro, don't fry them a purge, I'll fry that fish. My Aki was salty, missed that trip to the fifth. He's got kebab like shish. Fuck your advice, I need hollow tips. Invest in sticks for street politics.
Us man are steppers, them man are not. They're not. Cause we glide on ops. Roll up, try and turn man into pot. Us and the young G's leave red on their block. Man's active, the other side ain't that. Now I want smart till the next one drops. Whenever I'm talking that straight facts, I'm from the bricks, I'm watching my block.
Innocent till proven guilty. If you're talking about dirt, I'm filthy. None of them boys ain't touch me, punks. I know deep down they feel me. For many reasons they hate me. I know deep down they rate me. Up blocks on shake mode, hate it. Put my life on the line for AG.
Double tap, then double back. Ops get popped like bubble wrap. Mix up the food, man, double that. I like money and guns and bubble back. I can't wait till gang got another. Can't wait till gang got another. Can't wait for no tech, have to hit the trap. And that girl's a hoe, how you huddle that?
You're vesting shit, we slap out wigs. And that's the reason that your man to shit. Can't say that, catch my gist. And that's the reason we're harassed by pigs. Fuck the star sign, key deep throat dick. Call her chronos cause she ate my kids. We taped off first and taped off fifth. Bare drenched up blazing empty clips.
Go double tap that Jenny, I fame them up right and glee. I heard the mutes don't like me, vice versa, I don't like them needs.
Blow up the dingle with diesel. But it's petrol, man, buffing. They rap about all of these bootings, but none of their guns is blasting. HRB to the AGB, trust me, that's an active pattern. I ain't slapped it one time, I kept on slapping. Go Osh, what happened?
Go Osh, what happened? Go Osh, who dropped? Go Osh, why he left his guys and one of his friends got blocked.
PG, yeah, we're active, fam. Them man bang on Snap and Gram. This ain't weed, I'm bagging grams. But still I get my packs and damn, and we're the ones that gang. Shooting shit up back to back. Little bro on trap, then pack your bags. Cling from razors, plastic bags.
Said yesterday, Russian call and tell me say
You my blood, so I'm lying like a dog. Me, I got pick up for you every time you call. Some of them just change like the season. Most of them just want me for fall. Some will stay with a rifle at all. Me no want on that picture up on the wall. You know the black them hotter than a sauna. And we lock chopsticks more than any harder. 8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
any boy violate you a wall. Any boy violate you a wall.
8 times rise, 8 times fall. Carry 16 shots for my dog.
Me and you are forward from far. Me and you turn in a big superstar. Come from Jamaica, the street grimy. Now for them boy, you're so bad-minded. Them will kill you for nothing at all. To your right, the youth, them a football. What's the
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, gang. I hope you guys are all, thank you, having an amazing morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to another day of live trading, right? Currently, just to get straight into things, I think we could potentially see gold shorts, but we just had an hourly open, right? Just this big wick, right? So this big wick to me is what is giving me that feeling that we're probably just gonna melt. And based off of the 5 minute, it looks like we did come in and we filled some insufficiency because we did actually break structure. Okay, this is what I want to see. So we did break structure in the 5 minute. So in my eyes, I'm more or less looking at this right now as our IPA fill mitigation right at the beginning of this hourly. There's no wick on the bottom of this 5 minute candle as well. So with there being 6 minutes left till our first 15-minute candle close, what we could expect is price to basically kind of hug around here, right? Probably for the next 5 to 6 minutes until that 9:15 open. Right at 9:15, we might see another pop back into this same area. But to me, like I said, shorts are valid. So if you wanted to play re-entries, like you're watching it run away right now. But ideally, if you want to be super safe, you could really just have your stop right above this immediate high. And that's being super conservative. I would say if you got in kind of late, that would be a little bit safer. Just because, like I said, you don't want to risk too much. To me, in my eyes, like I said, with the high of the day being set and with the news already taking place, the fact that we didn't run out just this high, because this is currently the high of the day right here at 1964. The fact that we didn't run that out right at the beginning of New York kind of just leads to, like, it leads me to believe that we might potentially continue lower. But at the same time, when it comes down to an hour, when it comes down to every time frame, like, I really just couldn't see this kind of running from here. It's just, it doesn't make any sense, at least in my eyes. We can see silver, though we have some divergence. Silver looks like we're actually running. Silver looked a lot cleaner, just with that upward movement, right? But at the same time, silver really could just be coming back and tap in the same area. We've yet to really take the high of the day on that either. So I would say, for me, the reason why I'm kind of leaning towards the shorts would be more because of XAU GBP. I was kind of just looking at this, but even XAU GBP right now is kind of like, we've been consolidating, right? Like, damn near every day. Like, this is a range, this is all consolidation, right? But then we also have this in here, which is more consolidation, right? So we basically have consolidation and then just new consolidation in between the previous consolidation, right? So in my eyes, I just feel like there is a lot of liquidity on the downside, and on the flip, we've kind of been walking price down, foop, running highs, hitting out people that kind of sold early, then dumping it, right? What do we do again? We hit out everybody that sold late in here, right? That didn't take profit. A lot of people didn't really catch in here, and if they did, they didn't really hold it, right? So that's the whole point of running all of this out, right? For the people that did hold it, right, they're gonna watch it just come all the way back. So to me, that's just what I see currently in terms of the metals, right? There's obviously some divergence with gold and silver, but XAU GBP to me looks a little bit more bearish, just based off of just the liquidity to the downside. But gold at the same time, like I said, but this wick, I still feel like regardless of what happens, we probably still at some point come back down, and we're gonna run this out. It's just a matter of if we're gonna take the high and just really run, or if we're gonna get a reaction out of here. So it's 10:12. So this is the beginning of really that last 3-minute candle open before our 15-minute. This is personally, the 3-minute is one of my favorite time frames to play on, because I feel like if you're waiting for a re-entry at the beginning of an hourly time frame, or if you're sitting there looking for just to take a position right at the beginning of a 30-minute or an hourly open, so either at, like, let's say for example 10 o'clock or 10:30, you're looking for a position, 10:03 and like 10:13, 10:33 are typically going to be that first re-entry opportunity, because what's going to end up happening is a 3-minute is going to break down. Because when we take a look at all the time frames, right, we have the 1 minute, 3-minute, and obviously there's seconds too, right? We can go all the way lower, right? But if you sit here and you really just start at the minute, right, the lowest break of structure you could get on the minute time frame is the 1 minute. So if we sit here and we see a break of structure, for example, on the 3-minute, or we see just a point of interest in terms of just an institutional area, right? We have that trap candle, or we have just an IPA like we do in here. We have this imbalance, right? So it's like we have our smaller time frame areas, and we're sitting here in a 3-minute candle. The way that the 3-minute candles will open will be cool, because basically the beginning of the hourly will open, right? and let's say, for example, you want to sell. What might end up happening is we push up, right? Or for example, let's say you wanted to buy this, right? So let's say you waited for it to push down, right? And then you bought in on the, like, literally as it started to push up, right? In an example like that, what you're going to sit there and you're going to realize is the 3-minute candles is typically, if we started to sell off then buy, right? Typically the beginning of that 3-minute candle is going to give you a re-entry for the buy, right? So it's going to sell off quickly and then boop, start running again. But in terms of this, we can see that in terms of candle close on a 5-minute, 15-minute, on a 15-minute, if we're really closing like this, I don't know if we could really, like from a higher time frame standpoint, I'm kind of looking at this as boom, we captured all the liquidity of the day just now with this wick. So to me, to just run from here, we can, like, we don't really have to sell off, right? But the only thing that I'm really playing is just overall this 30-minute, 15-minute structure. Like, to me, us closing below here, right, that could be considered a lower low on the 30-minute, right? Even on the 15-minute. So to me, all we really did was come higher into the IPA, right? So if you played at the beginning, that's the difference between you playing here versus you maybe waiting all the way for the IPA fill to come up here. Because if you're playing 100% IPA fill, not only do you have a tighter stop, but you're going to be able to break even faster, right? So let's say right here, right, price went down. If you wanted to break even right after that first pushed up, or you want to just adjust your stop loss right there, your stop and your risk on the trade is going to be significantly less than somebody who isn't, right? But now that we fill this 15-minute, to me, we have room to continue to the upside. So you could really, like I said, I could really see this go either way right now. To me, buys after the liquidity sweep to the downside is really what, like, fundamentally makes the most sense. I just personally wanted to see it come a little bit lower. So that's my personal bias. You know, I would like to see us come down. But I'm personally not going to be playing buys just quite yet today. So I'm still in shorts from up here. But we absolutely could fly from here. So that's one thing. I don't want you guys to sit here and be like, Cash didn't tell me to buy it. So I didn't buy it. You could buy it. I'm just not buying it. Right? So if I'm not buying it, you know, you guys can sit there and take that with what you want. But realistically, to me, this wouldn't be too bad of an entry. Really looking at it, right? Just based off the 5-minute, we kind of filled this IPA immediately right away. But like I said, I just don't like the idea of kind of changing my bias midday. I would have to just, like, to me, like I said, I already kind of, I caught buys, and I told myself that if we came out and hit my buy entry, because I bought in here last night, and I told myself if my buy entry gets hit out, that I'm just gonna chill, right? Because I basically bought in here, sold in here. So I said, all right, whichever one wins is gonna win. Like, I'm not gonna really play a re-entry after. And to me, like I said, since then, you know, definitely have been fairly accurate with the overall direction. Like, even how we caught this initial short position, right, was off this 1 hour IPA, right? So we had an IPA as well as we had this institutional area, right, this trap candle, and we just had at the time a little bit of liquidity generated prior to us coming up into that area, right? But now obviously we've captured that liquidity. Okay, so with capturing that liquidity, what we have to expect, like I said, now smart money, right, has captured enough orders, right? So the market is not going to move up and down unless we hit stop losses, okay? So the more stop losses we can hit, the better. So think about that when you see volatile days like today with news, okay? So look at this. We have consolidation moving sideways. What ends up happening? We dump 100 pips, and we literally come back up a little bit higher to than where we were before we dropped. Like, it's no coincidence. So what we're doing is trying to hit out the masses of people. The masses of people put their stop loss in profit. The masses of people are not even entering up here. This is where you guys really have to think. The masses of people are not entering up here. The masses of people are entering in the middle. They're entering in the middle of this. Okay? They're not entering up here like us, right? They're not entering down here like us. They're not entering on the wicks like us. So that's what you have to really understand. Fundamentally, we view the markets different than most people. This is why we're able to get, just significant risk to reward, right? And this is beautiful reaction in terms of, this is exactly what I said I wanted to see, right? Drop a Goldie if you took, right? For me, like I said, I didn't take any re-entries just because I'm still in shorts from up here. But drop a Goldie if you guys are in gold, because ideally, like I said, it's just a dump. Like it shouldn't play around. It came back up right at the beginning of 10 o'clock, 10:15. It gave you that second re-entry, and boom, now, like I said, it should really go. The fact that we actually didn't even close above here, I really like this. It was just the volatility to kick in, right? With the news, of course, algorithm-wise, for us to just fly, it wouldn't have been just clean for us to just do it right away with this big wick. Like I said, these big wicks are targets. You have to look at, if you see a wick on gold bigger than 10 pips on a time frame under the 15-minute time frame. So this, for example, is a 57 pip wick on the 5-minute time frame, right? I said anything under 10 is insufficient, or anything over 10 is insufficient, right? So that means it's just unhealthy price action, right? There's manipulation going on, or just a lot of volatility in terms of just buy orders, sell orders, right? So just to be able to understand that, that's how we were able to sit there and kind of look in position. But at the same time, like I said, it's not sitting here and being oblivious to the fact that, of course, we want it to go down. This is what we anticipate. It's just still being realistic to the fact that, okay, we don't have to do that. So that's where you have to be confident enough to take the entries, but you also have to be realistic enough to sit here and not essentially like over leverage and just over gamble on one trade, because that's what ends up happening. People see one good trade, or they hop on a stream with Cash and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna take a trade because Cash said, and then you don't enter where I entered, and you sit here and then you're like, boom, this trade lost. And I'm like, how did the trade lose? I mean, you should have broke even, if anything, right? And it just all comes down to people's plans, because a lot of people will always sit there and be like, you know, like, where are you looking to target? And it's like, where I'm looking to target is going to be slightly different from where you're looking, because let's say, for example, you're looking for 1 to 3s. If I'm looking for 1 to 10s and you're looking for 1 to 3s, instantly we're going to have different perspectives on where the market's going to go. So in order to kind of look at things one way, you have to sit there and be willing to shift your perspective to kind of see from the perspective of who you're listening to in terms of trading. So if you guys are listening to me, for example, it's like trying to understand why I'm looking, and it's like I'm giving you guys a position potentially for a 1 to 10, right? And how we were able to identify the area even before we came up. Like I said, it's just being patient, right? We're identifying it as it came into here, right? But the difference between somebody who's patient and somebody who is slightly less patient, not to say that they're impatient, but the slightly less patient person, like I said, would have gotten in here. The patient person would have gotten in here. Now you could break even. And to me, if you got in at the top of this wick, you could damn near break even. I wouldn't quite break even just because spread, you got to be careful. Sometimes you might get wicked out, even though it doesn't come back to your entry per se. Like, that's the one thing too. Sometimes you guys will break even and you'll have like 3-4 pips spread, and it'll be 2-3 pips on top of your entry, and then instantly your trade will just close, right? So it's understanding the little fundamentals as well, family, will kind of enhance your ability to have long-term success in terms of the market. So right now, in terms of gold, this is what we're looking at. Potential shorts, like I said, if it runs higher, you know, so well. You know, we tap this 15-minute candle, so we kind of have the green light to go ahead and run up. So realistically, the end of this 30-minute candle is going to kind of determine whether or not what we do. I would ideally like to see us kind of start to fall over some more, obviously, if we're going to continue to go lower. But we'll see what takes place. I'm going to take a look at the indices now. So it looks like we have some divergence with 30 and Nas instantly, just looking at it right away. So it looks like Nas is lagging. Okay, so for Nas, we don't really have to come lower from what I'm seeing right now on the 15-minute. Right, if we really wanted to just make at least another higher high, we could. Right now, it would make sense. To me, though, what I could potentially see is Nas come and fill this to then have us at least take this high, I would say, would be very realistic. But overall with 30 looks like we're very bullish. It looks like we're going to continue higher. So if 30, in my eyes, is going to continue higher, damn well for sure Nas is going to, especially if it's the lagger in the situation. Like, Nas is definitely not as high up in terms of, or it's just not as bullish, right, in terms of just in comparison to 30, right, at the moment. So to me, I would kind of be on my hands until we could come a little bit lower to then position myself for longs. I wouldn't position myself right now. At least on Nas, it just looks like we missed it a little bit. S&P looks super clean. Antoine, if you're on here and you bought that shit was clean. S&P is actually the cleanest today, for sure. Equal lows, swept the equal lows. We had this trap candle, mitigation, right? Yeah, so this was beautiful on S&P. I'd say S&P probably had the cleanest longs. Why did 30 and dollar both draw higher at the same time yesterday? Okay, so that's the one thing. So Michael, I hope I'm saying that, or Michael, Michael. I hope I'm saying it right, one of those. But ideally, if you want to go back and watch my stream from last night I actually talked about that while I was going over the dollar, because essentially what I was explaining was the dollar, right? The reason why we even want to sell right now is because the dollar, we've been anticipating for the last 2 weeks, right, that we were going to have bullish dollar, right? If you guys go back and watch stream, go do your homework on stream from last week and watch, right? Watch July 18th. Literally, watch the week of July 18th, Tuesday, July 18th. I guarantee you're going to see me going through the same area, right, saying that this is where we're anticipating price to come. And then this was over a week and a half ago. So one thing to understand is with divergence, well, what'll occur, right, is exactly what you saw. So DXY was going higher, and then obviously US 30 was going higher, right? And normally it's like, you could say that they do the opposite, but to me, for the most part, the dollar and the indices are really going to be doing the same thing for the most part, right? They're going to be similar, right? Gold is really going to be the opposite, or anything XXX right? Because when you really think about it, it's like, if the dollar is going up and gold is going down, it wouldn't make sense for indices to go down too if gold is going down, right? So you have to understand, if the US dollar is going up, the value of the US dollar is going up because the value of US companies are increasing, right? So the stocks, the stock prices of these companies are increasing. So that's just the fundamentals that you have to take into consideration when thinking about it. So to me, 30 and a dollar should typically be doing the same thing, truthfully. It's anything with US dollar against it, right? The US 30 is not trading against the US dollar, right? It's comprised of the top 30 stocks in America. So this is what you have to understand. It's just really, it's going to be dictated on whether or not the dollar is going up or down, of course. But what you're going to see, like I said, is just typically the same type of movement on each. Okay. Gold looks like we're still slowly just breaking our way down, which is lovely. This is what we would want to see, right, in terms of the market. But yeah, go ahead and check out my stream yesterday, because I did go a little bit more in depth in terms of the dollar. Like I went on a little bit of lesson on how I use the dollar to correlate things. So if anybody wanted to go check that out, I would recommend yesterday's stream on my YouTube. Definitely to go check out. Goldie, you guys should be in some profit though, right? Even if you entered at the earlier spot, you should be up about 10 pips. If you entered from the top, you're up about 25, right? Drop an 888 family if you guys are in Goldilocks with me, right? Ideally, we should be able to, truthfully, if we're right, we should truthfully hit this TP on this call. To me, we should be probably lower than this wick by the end of the hour. Okay, family? So if you guys dropped the 888, shout out to you guys for getting in there. Like I said, to me, it's just having the cool, calm collectiveness to be able to chill out when price is not necessarily moving right away, right? Like I said, Sometimes you guys can't even wait 5 to 10 minutes for price to give you that confirmation. Like, I've had to sometimes wait like a day or two, right? Being in profit 20, 30, 50 pips to then the next day, boom, 400 pip movement, 300 pip movement. So sometimes it takes just positioning yourself at the right time, right? Not early, but at the right time to then be able to catch these moves. So like I said, we have this confluence not only with XAU GBP, right? XAU GBP, which is silver. Look at where we came back into. We actually took the high of the day on silver. So I like silver because it's a toxic bitch like this, right? It's kind of like nasty Nas, right? We take the high of the day and respect and continue lower. Gold, like I said, is not that bipolar today. Normally it is, but today it wasn't as bipolar. So we definitely only saw, a little bit of movement. But with this 1030 close, let's see how this 30-minute candle closed. Okay, that was lovely, right? So the fact that we just didn't engulf really all of this structure, to me, realistically, if you entered, I think if we come back up, we probably go higher. So if you did enter up higher in this area, I would say it would be safe to break even. Like I said, you don't want to chase. We're also in the middle of the range. If you really look at the high of the day and the low of the day, right, and we take our fib, we're literally right exactly where we're at right now is 50% of our daily range. So as you can see here, if you were to have entered, you would have been entering close to the 70%, above the 61.8, which to me is not bad, right? It's not bad. Ideally, you want to try and enter up here in the 100% to the 86.8. To me is going to be your sweet spot, which my current sell positions that I'm holding is in this sweet spot. So that's why I'm holding it, because to me, just having these highs and lows of the day and just understanding these ranges, you start to realize, like, damn, if you just sat here and, for example, right, obviously you have this liquidity here. I'll bring that back just now. But if you're just taking a look at this from this high, like I said, to this low. But now we really just take it from this low from Tokyo, from Asian, right? One thing that we see here, and I've told you guys about, especially when it comes down to gold, right, is, let's say, for example, you sat here and you were looking for longs, right? So you were looking for longs, the 110. So you see how 1.1, that is the 110%. So the 110%, the reason why I have it, if you go look at your fib, you guys might not even have the same numbers. You might have some more. You might also have some less. But at the same time, right, if you look at my fibs, this 1.1 is 110%. So it's no coincidence that we hit the 110% of this daily range. We are ranging, right? Notice how right before the news, we come to the 100%, which is not a liquidity run, right? But this is just us mitigating. This is us getting that healthy retracement, this is the most beautiful retracement you could possibly get, right? 100% retracement. 100% retracement to then basically get another 100% retracement on the other side to then boom, drop it and hit that 110. That's in your area. Thank you, Brandon. Oh, okay, beautiful. So this is how we open straight down into it. So NAS, we could potentially see longs. So to me, you could buy it basically out of here. Your stop loss can vary. Like I said, if you want to have your stop loss below the low, you could have your stop loss below the low. What you also could do is have your stop loss just basically below off of where you play. To me, if you were to get in, I wouldn't necessarily put my full position in yet. I think it could come a little bit lower. Not like lower than our area, but I feel like it could come deeper into our area. But right at, okay, so this is prime example of the 3-minute candle. So boom, you see how first 3-minute went down, this next 3-minute comes up. So that 3-minute, the beginning of this 3-minute would have hypothetically been our re-entry. But obviously, well, at least for me, I don't know if you guys got in, if you guys were quicker. But to me, I'm still trying to fucking open up NAS on my fucking MT4. Right, so I took a little tiny position right now, but I am anticipating that at the beginning of the next 5-minute, I hope we can get another wick down into here. So we've filled basically 50% of the area that we were looking at in terms of IPA. Realistically, all we have left now to fill is this. Okay, so what I would say is this blue box would be our sweet spot, right? If we're able to come into here and potentially catch an entry, that would be lit. But realistically, just this white box, we don't have to come lower than that. So if you wanted to enter right now, right, like I said, you could potentially look at something along the lines of this, right? So this stop right below the low, so about 15 points, give or take, even to the high. It's about a 1 to 3, just to the, obviously that first high, and that's just being realistic with our targets. But overall, to me, where I'm looking to target is more or less into this IPA. I think this IPA is an easy like it's an easy target. I think we could even potentially make our way higher, but I would say this is a good first target just because it works itself out to about a 1 to 10, right? If you sit here and you're looking at it from a risk to reward aspect, which is ideally what you want to be focusing and paying attention to price, looking at it from, right, risk to reward aspect. So new 5-minute candle, we push straight down. I would say this would be a decent chance to potentially get back in, or to get in just in general if you didn't maybe already. I would say that, like I said, this whole 5-minute candle, so basically where the white box is, this 5-minute candle, right, is where you could be looking. But then this blue box, like I said, is going to be that sweet spot. Realistically, like I said, that's where, to me, I'm going to be putting on a little bit of my position. So, took a small little piece right here with my stop right below the low. That's why it's only small. But ideally, we should be able to see this filled nice. It looks like we're reacting already, so decent US 30. Did we break below this low? 30-minute structure on 30 looks like it actually did break to the downside. It's just if it holds, right? So to me, I just really like the longs a little bit more, just because of the fact that I think that the dollar is going to, like obviously if gold is going to continue to drop, I just think that the dollar is going to fly. So if the dollar flies, then to me, ideally the indices should as well. So maybe for 30 as well, this could be the buy re-entries off of this. We came back down into this 15-minute candle, so we got that mitigation. We also, it looks like we came in, filled some IPA in here. Okay, so 30, ideally we should see potentially start getting a reaction towards the upside. Now, as you can see, is getting a little bit of a pop to the upside. So this is pretty. If you were able to get in here, like I said, if you waited for that area, that's cool too. But if you got in here, like I said, it should be like less than a 10 point risk or so. Which is what I said. You don't really want to sit here and be stuck on the bottom area. I feel like I was running a call with someone the other day about this, and I was sitting there, and they were telling me, they're like, yo, for the most part, I only miss trades because sometimes I'd be looking like too low. So this is one of those examples of where we absolutely could come here, and you have to expect price to come here. But looking at it also from a logical standpoint, you have to just respect the fact that immediately right away, especially after this news, we don't necessarily have to come back right away. Okay, so that's just the one thing to definitely just pay attention to, obviously, when you're just trading, right? Because for the most part, that's where a lot of people are just going to be clapping themselves, right? But at the same time, let's take a look at gold. So gold looked like we came all the way back up to entry, right? So this is no bueno. Just because to me, us now coming back up, now, like I said, just leads me to believe that we probably do take the high. Okay? So if you're in gold, like I said, if you broke even, I would say you could just kind of stay on your hands. It's not to say that we can't, like the shorts are not going to be good. I would just say if you took the shorts already, I wouldn't just keep re-entering here in the middle of the range. This is why I say just being able to get in here is, and getting in at the bottom here for buys is ideally going to be what allows you to not get hit out. To me, I still think we're gonna fall. So don't get shook out. Like if you're someone who maybe you just got hit break even, you haven't taken a loss, I wouldn't be too scared to take this again. But if you're someone where it's like you've taken a couple small losses, like obviously to me this is the only trade that we took, so you should have really only broke even. Or maybe like I don't even know how you could have taken a small loss unless you had your stop loss just close. So that's what I'm saying. You literally should have got hit break even or taken a small win. So to me, if you got a small win or a small loss, to me it's still, don't be scared. Don't get shooketh just because we came all the way back up here. Candle closes is crucial. So even though we came all the way back up here 5-minute wise, like I said, we didn't close above, right? So don't be scared. 1 minute wise too, we didn't even close above. 1 minute, you have to really look at this. We broke structure to the downside here. As soon as we broke structure, we came back up to this last up candle. So this is really that 1 minute trap candle area that we're looking at, right? So you can sit here and see that we wicked above, right, the body of this candle, but we never actually got a close. So this is one thing. This is why I kind of break down the price for you guys, right? So if you guys got hit break even, you see how fast it just runs away. This is why you shouldn't break even really on gold right away. That's just my personal preference. I don't break even on gold. Like for example, I shorted gold in here, right? I didn't break even when price came to here. I didn't even break even when motherfucking price came to here. I broke even after price came back and tested my area twice. Right? So truthfully, I probably would have broken even after it fell here. But I had a target. My first target was literally this white box, right? And my buys got hit break even from there too, right? But we ended up coming all the way back up. But the reason why I didn't get hit break even is because to me, I understand that shit, that's what happens. Yeah, dirty move, exactly, right? So this is the epitome of why people hate gold, because you guys would have been so absolutely right. And within the span of 3 minutes, you would have sat there and contemplated your life and been like, yo, cash is trash. Why this motherfucker tell me to sell? I should have just bought it. I wasn't even going to sell it. I was going to buy it, right? You know how it goes, family. But in terms of nasty Nas is in profit. Drop a Nas if you guys are at Nas. Like I said, these quick little bounces, as long as you're able to break even, shit, you're never really going to lose. Like already up, you're up a 1-to-1 if you enter from our area at Nas. Right? So it's just the little things like that. So DXY looks like it's fucking around and finding out. Obviously, we want to see it go up higher, but yeah, it looks like we're still good to go in terms of the hourly. Looks like we're really just walking our way up. So like I said, Nas, if you guys are in there, I would look to break even potentially after this high, but overall we're looking to target this 4-hour IPA a little bit higher. Right, so it would be literally about a 1-to-6, 1-to-7 from current price action. Right, obviously if you got it a little bit lower, actually no, I think it would actually be, yeah, so it'd actually be a little bit more, be closer to like a 1-to-15. I feel like DXY is gonna mount. Yeah, it could for sure. Absolutely could for sure. But we really just have to see what ends up taking place, because to me, we still have so much news the rest of this week, right? So even today we had this consumer confidence. Tomorrow, right, we have FOMC. So to me, I just don't know whether or not we will get our big move before FOMC, which it's unlike. The reason why you're seeing price action like this is literally because FOMC is fucking tomorrow. Okay? Like that's why you see just consolidation. We take the lows, and this is after the consolidation down here. We explode up. And you just see up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, but like super up and down, not just like a 10-15 pip range. It's like 100 pips, right? It's a couple hundred pips. So just being able to sit here and identify this range is crucial. But in terms of gold, like I said, right now we don't really want to see it keep fucking around and finding out. So to me, like I said, if you want to just relax and if you're still in, I would say just hold it. Like I said, it's a 6-point risk. But if you're scared, it's like the worst thing that you could do, I feel like, for your psychology is sit there and put yourself in a position where you're creating anxiety unnecessarily, because then what that means is you're typically going to start doing that in situations outside of trading too, which I don't want you guys to do. So I don't want you guys to be anxious. And if you feel anxious, you shouldn't be in the trade. Right? So you should have already accepted the fact that you would probably lose the trade before you even took it, or else you're just an idiot for thinking otherwise, right? And that's just like, there's no other way to kind of put that, right? So with 10:45 coming, you probably have to expect the last opportunity. So this is why I wait for hourly candle closes, because right now at 10:45, if you were to have missed any potential entries, to me, if there were to be a re-entry, this would be the last opportunity to get it. And if there were to be, a reversal and us actually, just being wrong, we would get that confirmation right now. Nice. 100 buys. Solid. Yeah, I like the idea of longs on especially Nas. Like, to me, 30, obviously we've been more selling 30 versus buying. But even if you were to have bought 30, for example, 30 to me was a little bit cleaner. Like I said, 30 was cleaner with the overall structure, but Nas was just a little bit better for where we were in the range and in terms of structure, just to be able to play it. So that's why, to me, you want to pick, like, I look at 30 mainly to help me with direction, and I play Nas mainly for entries. At least myself. But if the indices are going to fly, then like I said, to me, dollar is going to be in alignment with our bias for both. Taking a look at the Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin really looks like we're gonna drop a little bit too, to be honest. Like I said, it's what I've been kind of talking about just as long as we've been looking at these gold shorts, is just the fact that BTC really, shit, at my eyes, we could really come all the way back down. To me, I want to see BTC still even come below this 15K area that we were just in, right? To me, in a perfect world, Bitcoin's gonna come back down to like $7,200. Right? To me, Bitcoin, in a perfect world, right, Bitcoin's gonna come back into this box. It will come back into this box. Just how deep, I don't know. To me, it might just be the top. To me, I would hope deeper. What is it? I need my morning coffee and my morning split. Right? But in terms of that family, with there being, I really like shorts on, like, I don't mean like right now, but I just like the idea of shorts on crypto. Even now, to be honest, like, just reacting out of here, like, not now, but I mean, like, it looks like we're probably going to at least, at the very least, take these lows. Right, so to me, we could potentially see us come back up, fill some of this, get a little pop it, lock it, and then a little bit of dump it, so we could potentially see something like this maybe on BTC. Right. But at the same time, I do like the idea of seeing continuation towards the downside. To me, like I said, overall, I think crypto, I think we're just going to start shaking out a lot of people who bought late. Yeah. And I would say the reason for that is because of, obviously, like last week with Ripple, right? If we even take a look at Ripple, right? Ripple basically did 100% overnight. So now with Ripple doing 100% overnight, with people seeing certain things, like if we go to CoinMarketCap, and let's just say we go to Bitcoin, right? If we sit here and we look at Where's the 30-day high? So let's say here, and let's say we take a look at price in the last 30 days, right? In the last 30 days alone, Bitcoin has literally gone from 28,000 to about 31,000. Okay? So in terms of really sitting there and looking at that from a fundamental standpoint, right, that's about 12%. So if we sit here and we just analyze what's going on in terms of the public, right? If we even sit here and we look at this, right? These are the latest tweets, right? For people that are sitting here and are looking at it, right? So we have this guy right here. This guy drops the wick off, right? Yeah, to me, this guy has the right idea. That's actually a decent markup. That's definitely a decent markup, right? In terms of looking for the shorts, right? But just for the most part, when you sit here and you observe the masses, the majority of people are going to be sitting here and they're going to be encouraging longs, right? Even if you look at it from the last year, Bitcoin is up 100% in the last 365 days. Okay, so if we just understand that Bitcoin is up 100% in the last 365 days, right? Within the last maybe 4 to 5 months is when the media has really been sitting there hip to everything. So really for the last, like I said, 6 months, give or take, right? The media has been really pumping crypto since about March. I would say that social media and everything has been pumping crypto. So we've gotten about a 50 to 60% gain since that point. But to me, I just don't think that it's going to be long term. I think it's going to be exactly like 2019, 2020 when we saw the exact same thing happen. Or at least I saw the exact same thing happen if you guys are trading. Right? So like I said, BTC, I expect us to probably take these lows at the very, very easiest. Nas, what are we doing? We're still in the same kind of spot. So, you know, you don't have to, like I said, worry, because to me with the hourly, as long as we don't close below like this bottom area, this bottom hourly candle, right? 15,492. As long as we don't close below that, I wouldn't be worried in terms of an hourly. Like I said, because we have that hourly candle there. And I wouldn't be scared if we wick just below, like if right at the beginning of 11 o'clock, if we wick below this area, I wouldn't be scared. I would, like I said, to me, that would just, I would feel better about us actually coming and filling this IPA and running higher versus this initial push up. So NAS hopefully can come into our lower area. If you wanted to just even close with a small dub or a small loss, depending on where you entered, I would do that. Like I said, if you just entered with the first initial thing, it would have been maybe like a 10-point stop at the most anyway. To me, it just looks like we're probably going to come and we're going to tap this lower area. So there's no point in just holding it. When it literally, like, that's the whole point of why we have the tighter stop losses, to be able to sit there and identify what's happening, right? So obviously you can see that we dumped, and even gold doesn't look so hot right now either, right? So I would say maybe at the end of this hour is where we're probably gonna get the last type of opportunities to be able to either buy or sell, just regardless of what the market does. Dollar right now is dropping, which is cool, but it's just to see whether or not just how we close leading into this hourly. If we engulf, then the engulfing in 30-minute would kind of break towards the downside. So to break towards the downside, we probably pop back up and then drop. So that means the opposite for obviously gold and the indices. Right, so even for 30, we can see that we reacted out of this area in terms of longs. But now when we sit here and we take a look at just this 30-minute candle, this last up candle, this is where we failed to break above, right? So notice how we get an initial boom, like our initial pop up, right, in terms of the longs, but then realistically now we're coming back in the 30-minute. You can see that we actually failed to break above. Okay, so if that's the case, like I said, to me, Nas still, I'm not the type of person to short Nas like right now, so I would still say like longs on Nas wouldn't be bad, right? But on 30 wise, if you were to be buying 30, that's one thing that I'm just saying look out for, is the fact that we could drop. So to me, like I said, I'm bearish 30, bullish Nas really, because that's what we've been doing. So the fact that we're kind of coming and we're like, even just looking at this candle versus the candle on Nas, right? The candle on US 30 is definitely a lot more aggressive. Right, it's definitely a lot more violent. But it's not to say that 30 isn't just fucking around and finding out. I'm just saying that just because 30 could go down doesn't mean that invalidates our Nas. But at the same time, with the divergence, to me, that's just another regular day in terms of trading US 30. So look at this. If gold falls back down from here, I know so many of you guys are going to be salted. I know for a fact, because we're really just coming and we're fucking tapping this 5 minute. It's like, to me, the reason why I still just think shorts is because we haven't taken the high of the day yet. If we take the high of the day within like the open, and what I mean by the high of the day is like for us to just come above here. Once we come above here, then to me, I wouldn't sell again for today, right? But until that point, to me, like I said, I wouldn't even sell again after this, right? So if you just got hit, I wouldn't even sell again after that. But it's just funny to me how gold is really gold is the one thing that will sit there and just repeatedly run out people, right? Because it's like, even yesterday, like I got fucking hit break even, and I took a small loss on buys, right? Because I was in here, but I never took profit because I was anticipating us to run, right? Kind of like what we're looking like we're about to do right now. That's what I anticipated yesterday, right? So the fact that we didn't get that yesterday was just what led me to be looking more towards the shorts, because I'm like, okay, if we haven't popped yet, then maybe we're just waiting for just that last little boom, liquidity sweep, IPA run, whatever the case is. But yeah, I like this right now. I just like price action when it's like this, because to me, when price does this shit, with the consolidation and just very manipulative, where it's like, boom, we keep running liquidity. Like, if you bought it, like I said, if you bought it at any point today, you would have got hit out. Like, literally. Because I know, like, very few people probably bought this wick. Because I know for damn sure I wasn't fucking buying that shit. To me, if it came lower, I would have been more intrigued. But because it just really took that low, I was like, damn. As soon as it took the low, it started pushing up. I was like, damn. I was like, I should close the rest of my position. But I was like, nah, I'm break even. I'm going to just let it ride. Right? But looks like we should have closed. Right, Nas dipped into this box, right? So Nas actually dipped in officially now to our area. Which is decent. Alright, this is what we'd want to see. Goldie, like I said, it's not to say that it won't go down, it's just not as clean right now. And like I said, the buys definitely do make sense as well. Especially if dollar is going to flip. Dollar does look a little bit like it could. Obviously, we wanted the bullish dollar, but if this is the end of the bullishness, then to me, like I said, it was a buy to sell for the dollar. So it's not that I was long-term bullish dollar. It's just I did expect a decent reaction out of that weekly time frame, for sure, which is definitely what we got. So to me, Nas came into our area a lot cleaner, truthfully. And if you really pay attention to the 100% of this hourly candle close, or this hourly candle, we came deep into the body of this candle. So to me, like I said, I would expect at least to see a higher high. You're in gold shorts now. I'm in shorts, but I'm in shorts from the top. Like, I didn't re-enter. Like, I didn't where I just gave you guys the re-entry. Like, I didn't take that. I was already in. So I'm in from up here. So for me right now, I'm about to get hit break even. But that's why I was saying, it's like, I don't like to normally enter in the middle of these ranges, right? I play the top and I'll play the bottom, right? So if I wasn't getting in for longs here and if I wasn't getting in for shorts here, then to me, I'm kind of just chilling on my hands. But with just this hourly close, we probably fly, right? We close above this. If we get any wick down, what I would expect is probably, boom, flyage. But we're also, then again, like, we're in the middle of a consolidate. Like, we're really in a fucking range. So it's like, it could really fucking do anything. 4 hour wise, we would, like, it looks like we're basically damn near engulfing now, right, towards the upside. So just in terms of that, that's just one thing to keep an eye out for, right, is just what we're going to do in terms of the initial open. Because we could still, like, we could have literally just closed the hourly to just wick up into this same wick from the beginning of New York session to then melt. Like I said, once we take this high of the day, it's like shorts to me are already look like they're gonna lose. But if we don't take this high, right, or at least even this high, then to me we're good. So don't mind the wicks. Like I said, these wicks are used as a distraction. They're used as manipulation. They're used to distract you. If you're not sitting here looking at the wick, this 30-minute structure looks a little bit more bearish than bullish. Okay, so that's the one thing that you gotta just pay attention to is the wick. The candle closes, right? So especially with this candle just opening right now, this is literally what is this? 11 o'clock candle open. We're opening straight up. That's exactly what you'd want to see, right? With no wick on the bottom, right? That's like the epitome of like perfect type of price action that you would want to see in terms of gold. Like you could even take, like I said, a little small entry there, right? Did I still not get hit on? Oh yeah, I still didn't get hit on. I'm lit. Right, so that's the one thing about having just these entries that are at the top of ranges, right? It's like you have price come all the way back and it's like, shit. I took shorts and I'm still in profits. Even though price came all the way back up, right? Still up 6-7 points, right? Pips. So this is one thing that, like I said, it's just the importance of wanting to get in, at the bottom of these ranges or at the top of these ranges is to be able to maximize that risk reward. So on gold, you either would have broken even or taken a small loss, right? Depending on what you took. NAS, if you entered the first area and you closed, you would have probably taken a small loss there, but at the same time, you also are now in profit about 10 to 15 points. So that's one thing to really pay attention to, right? Is that we could really just see this continuation higher, which is what we expect to see. But yeah, 30-minute wise, 30-minute. I really like NAS to me to go to the upside. I think it's just a little bit cleaner in my eyes. But overall, if we do see NAS and 30 continue to the upside, like I said, we could see gold continue to the downside. If we take this high, like I said, don't be looking for shorts. If we take this high, and if we come back into this box, you could potentially take longs on gold. But like I said, us coming back up to the top of this range, if we're looking at this, like I said, in terms of daily range, where are we coming back into now? Right, so this is what I talk about. This is the good retracement you want to see. But in terms of the buys, like I said, we already gave the perspective. We took this liquidity to the downside, right? And we literally took liquidity twice to the downside. So to me, we really ran out a lot of people that were looking to get in. 30. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know. When I say I don't know which one will win when it comes down to the longs, or like to me it looks like the long or the shorts are probably gonna win right now. Just immediately kind of looking at it, we have this liquidity, all of these equal lows here, so I could kind of see that, right? I could kind of see that taking place for sure, right? So gold, like I said, flying up, doing that thing. So if as long as gold closes bullish today, then to me, after FOMC tomorrow, like basically we'll be able to start stacking buys for like the longer term, right? So that to me is like really the one type of benefit that really comes from being able to be in a position like this where you're getting in at just optimal prices, right? So just be on the lookout for how the market closes today, as well as I would go and use this as a reference point in terms of just how you could sit here and how you could have potentially made money from price going up and down, right, without sitting here and necessarily being late. Like, how could you have potentially caught these positions at highs and lows? Okay. And that's probably like the biggest thing that you guys could be doing when it comes to making sure that you guys are just on the right track. So Nas, nasty Nas looks clean. Right, she's running. Which is ideally what you want to see. Right, you want to see her turn into a runner and a track star. Oh my gosh, if gold actually falls from here, that would be nutty. That would be nutty, right? But to me, what I would suggest is, like I said, if you got hit out of gold, to me, I didn't get hit out just because I did, like, my entry is right here. But because we're testing the high of the day, I just gave it a couple like pips of room to breathe. Like I think I put my stop up like 5 pips, 5 to 6 pips, just because I rather give it room to breathe than have to get hit out at the top and have to re-enter, because I know my re-entry is probably not going to be as high up if it does fall from here. So to me, I'd rather just risk 5 pips out of my profit, right? Because to me, I only have 10% riding left anyway, so. I had like 15% riding, so to me it's either I'm gonna lose 15% of a lot that I TP'd 85% of at 100 plus, right, pips, or we're gonna sit there and we're going to be able to catch not really catch anything, but we're gonna be able to just hold this leading into obviously the end of the day, potentially the hour. So drop a Nas. If you guys are in Nas, you guys should be up 20 points, give or take. On Nash the Nas. Yeah, dollar looks like it's dropping. Dollar's dropping. So yeah, to me, like I said, Nas is probably like the cleanest thing right now out of everything. As long as we engulf on the 15-minute, I would say you guys are safe to be able to hold. If we don't, then shit, just take your 20 pips or 20 points and run. All right, run and be patient. Tomorrow, obviously, is FOMC, right? So, just to keep that in the back of your mind, obviously, is what we have to just be on the lookout for, right? We don't want to sit here and kind of get caught lacking. Because that's probably the worst thing you could do is get caught lacking, especially when it comes down to your trades, right? Because when you get caught lacking, sometimes you sit there and it's like, you're looking at a move, and then because something happens unexpectedly, now you're sitting there and you're stuck, and you're almost like scared to do what you know you should be doing anyway, right? So in terms of that, yeah, shit, gold just took the high of the day. All right, so gold took the high of the day. So shit, yeah, we probably fly, but I wouldn't even be surprised if we fucking dump too. So I'm just being honest. So like I said, there's whole lot of divergence going on. So you can see Nas is going up, 30 is dumping straight down. S&P is fucking around and finding out in the middle. Gold just took the high of the day and is now melting, and actually came into this hourly area that we were looking at earlier. And there's still no wick on the bottom of this hourly candle. So you know what that means. Cash is back in there. So I personally took an entry again at 65. I don't know. That's just my muscle memory, man. So top of this range, top of this hourly candle, right? Liquidity sweep. We captured all of these highs. Overall, like I said, the structure is still bearish. This is that last previous lower high that we haven't come to. This is that trap candle area. So to me, like I said, it just fundamentally, it made sense to me. The stop loss in terms of risk reward made sense. I had an 8 pip stop. So like I said, you can't really go wrong when you're able to optimize your risk to reward by getting into positions at optimal times. So to me, this is probably the last trade I'm going to take for today personally. Like I said, I didn't even really take anything on stream today besides like just now. I took Nas, and I didn't even take too big of a position. I kind of under leveraged just because already having a decent day with the metals. So I wasn't really looking to be greedy. I was just looking to obviously catch a move. I wasn't looking to necessarily just profit as much as I possibly could. But now would be a decent time to take some partials on Nasty Nas family. So if you guys made any money today, just definitely drop in the chat. Go shoot me a message on Instagram if you guys want more information on how you guys could potentially become students and actually get access to additional calls as well as group chats, just team chats, team access, all of that. Definitely shoot me a message so we can get you just more info on that. But I love and appreciate you guys, family. And if you guys had a good stream today, like I said, just drop a like for me. And I will catch you guys on the flip. Peace.